All right, everyone, welcome back to the show, the S from Podcast. I'm your host, Skyler, and today we have Sabrina from Osso. Sabrina, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Skyler. I appreciate it.
Of course, and we're just going to ask her a couple of questions today about her Osso Safe company. And so what is it exactly to start it off? What do you do?
Osso Safe, I am a speaker and consultant for the company on promoting safety and preventing violence in the workplace, schools, and in particular in your place of residence. That's where our focus is, basically.
Okay. And because, when you think of Osso, I'm not sure what to think about it. So.
Well, it's my last name, and I'm Italian, so it means bone, actually, in Italian, Osso. So, yeah.
So like you said, I'll follow up with that. You promote safety in residents and environments. So how many years have you been doing this?
Roughly about around 7 years now. It has been challenging, but I feel that especially in these times, safety is on everyone's mind. So it's definitely on the forefront of everyone's consciousness. So if you're not safe at home, where are you safe? And we also combine education and technology to promote safety and prevent violence. So I think it's very important to feel safe at home, also in the workplace and in schools, but especially at home.
Right. So what led you and what's your background into doing this?
I've had enough therapy. I've been in and out of therapy for a number of years, and I'm comfortable with saying that I grew up with violence. My father beat my mother on a regular basis. It was very traumatic, very, very difficult, very chaotic, dysfunctional. So it wasn't until I moved out that I was able to kind of build my life and. Uh, so I would say that is the biggest qualification that I have is growing up with violence. And then also safe. I am a dancer. I designed a one-woman show where I play different women being abused, and she goes to her good place. That's where the dancing comes in. But then she's pulled back into the terror of violence. The show ends really strong, very empowering, and I did a lot of research for the show actually because I wanted it to be educational, entertaining, informative, and I could not believe the statistics that I was finding, how prevalent this is. So Also Safe was actually born from my one-woman show called Home Sweet Home. And I said to myself, I need to make this into a business. I'm not a charity. I'm not a nonprofit. I strongly believe that we cannot solve the magnitude of this problem by treating it as a nonprofit. It needs to be a paid service, so that way it actually gets resolved. So really, Oso Safe came from all of my pain of living in a violent atmosphere, and then subsequently doing my one woman show and making that into a business. So I hope I answered your question.
You did, and you do have a website which will be down in the description, but it's ososafe.com. It should be on the screen here for you. Now, if there's a little gray box, there's probably a little gray box, but I'm going to remove that.
Right, there it is. Yep, that's it.
So I'll keep that up for a minute while we talk about, do you consult with anybody about your business?
Yes, I do consult or advise with a small team of lawyers on pretty much everything that I do. Also, I regularly inform myself on statistics, on facts, on warning signs, and it's all part of the education at Oso Safe. And because we combine education and technology doing what we do. I have hired a software company to actually design my app. And this app will detect violent like movements and captures them in real time, issuing alerts. So that's another component of my company. But yes, I definitely surround myself and the company with people that keep everyone in check, and that way we have updated information on everything that we do.
Right. And I'm going to follow up here. From what I understand, from what you told me, you have a lot of experience with children, right?
Enough. I have taught. I was a dance teacher for like a good 8 years, 8 to 10 years, and I would teach pre-K all the way up to adults. And then I substitute taught for a good 5 years, and that was also pre-K to high school. So various age groups, and I try to relate to students of various ages as best as I can, because I'm always thinking, whatever student, whatever their age is in front of me, I always think, how is their home life? Like, do they go to a safe home, or are they in a war zone? Because I know that was true for me, and I was very quiet at school. I was very quiet. So whenever I would teach, I always keep that in the back of my mind. Who are the students that are acting out? Are they in a very bad environment at school, or are the ones that are really quiet? It may be their personality, it may be that they're just quiet, or that they're in such turmoil at home that they're just silent. When you live in that type of environment, as a rule, you don't say anything. It's like an unwritten law in the home.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I have a very quiet personality, so
Well, I hope that your home is safe, Skyler. I mean, it's fine. I was quiet. It's actually a good attribute to have. That means you're a good listener, and you observe, but I hope, that you're in a good environment, that you're safe, that you feel free in your home, that you're nurtured and loved, and discipline is always important in the home. Children have to be disciplined, but there's a big difference between discipline and abuse. Abuse
right,
instills fear, and discipline instills education. That's a big difference.
right. Yeah, we do get disciplined around here, but not very often because we're pretty good. This is a very safe house.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
So you told us your story about your experience with violence. Is there any further details that we should know?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a lot that happened. It was mostly verbal and physical abuse. Uh, it was, I mean, police would come to the residence quite a bit. And yeah, it was just a difficult atmosphere. And it wasn't until college that I felt trusting enough of a friend to tell her what was going on. And she said, Sabrina, you have to go to therapy. And I said to her, yeah, but I'm not the one doing the abuse. It's my parents. And she said, yes, but if you go to therapy, you'll be helping them. And that really resonated with me. So I mustered up the courage to go to psychological services at the university that I was going to, and book an appointment and talk to the psychologist there. And believe me, all the noise was going on in my head. What are you doing this for? This is stupid. What if somebody finds out? This is really embarrassing. I'm so scared. What if other students see me? Like, all of that was normal, all of that noise. but I couldn't use the excuse of money because it was already included in the tuition. So I couldn't say I couldn't afford it. So, and my friend did not give up on me. She just kept saying, "Did you go?" She wasn't pushy or anything, but she said, "Did you go? It's going to help. It's going to help. I'm here for you." And that really helped me to just at least book an appointment and try it for once, one time. And I have to say, after the appointment, because I went in thinking all my problems will be solved, everything is going to be okay, like magic, and it doesn't work that way. It's a
No.
work in progress, so but I felt after the first session, I have to say, and I say this to people, when I go to speaking engagements and I do my seminars and workshops, a good test of a good therapist is if you leave after the first couple of sessions a little less heavy. So if you could feel a little less heavy, that's your therapist. You may have to try on a few. Not all therapists are created equal. So I say to people, don't give up. Whether you do group therapy or one-on-one, it'll help a lot to get you to heal. So, yeah, so it's been a work in progress and continues to this day.
Right. I've talked with counselors and therapists. What I understand, they definitely have to break you down to build you up. So,
Well, it's more they a good therapist listens more than talks, and lets you arrive to what will help you. So it's not so much a breaking down, because that sounds like cutting you open where you're bleeding everywhere. It's more getting you to be aware of certain things. That way you can start to heal. Like, for example, there were things that when I was dating, I'm in a monogamous relationship. I've been with my longtime boyfriend for quite some time, and we have a good relationship. But before him, like, I didn't realize how like I would look for attributes that my father had in guys that I dated, and I would just run. I would be like, "Oh my gosh, that he looks like he'll be along the lines of my father," or or even I would run, like I would go walk away even if the guy treated me right, because I was so that was so foreign to me. And with therapy, with the work with therapy, you see that no, you deserve a good relationship. That's normal. That should be normal, not an abusive one, so um yeah, there's several aspects to it.
yeah. And we'll talk about your product after I ask this last question to you because we're coming to an end here.
Sure.
But in schools and in teens, what is the biggest contributor to violence?
Their parents. Their parents. If they grow up with violence, it'll carry over to them, in their schoolwork, in their relationships, in their friendships. It is up to you as a student to not repeat the same mistakes as your abusive parents. And that'll take therapy. That will take being surrounded by other students or friends that are good, that have healthy home environments. That is a big help. If you have friends that have good environments, um, 1 out of 3 women will be beaten or raped in her lifetime. 1 out of 5 adolescent girls is abused by her boyfriend. 1 out of 7 men is abused. 15 million children witness violence in their own homes each and every year, and those are just the ones that are documented. So it's important as students to be be aware and to not repeat the same mistakes as your parents. Um, uh, That's very, very basic. So that way you have good relationships, and you have to know as students that you deserve to be in good relationships. You deserve to be in healthy friendships, so no matter what the age, from toddler all the way up to college, university level.
Right. And I mean, those statistics are quite high just for being the ones that are documented. And I'm sure there's many that aren't documented. So, but
Right,
very important to have a trustworthy relationship. So,
right. Yep,
and
absolutely.
so, as we're at the end now, your product is, or one of your products, I should say, is the Osso Safe certification product. And if you don't mind, for our viewers and us, telling us a little bit about that.
Sure. It is something that we're introducing into the landlord tenant part of the real estate industry, the Osso Safe certification. And the biggest component of that is the Osso Safe Home Sweet Home package. And that consists of a policy, a seminar, and an app. And basically, what we're doing is selling safety in residency. Everyone signs a policy, all of the tenants, and then they have to go through a seminar before they take up residence in the building. This is for new and existing tenants, and we go over facts, statistics, warning signs, definitions of abuse, the difference between abuse and discipline, so that way everyone is educated on the subject. And yes, there it is. And then we also have therapists assigned to the property. So that way, everyone is required as a tenant in an Osso Safe certified property to check in with their therapist. So this is basically preventative. It's not waiting for an episode of violence to happen like we have now. With the Osso Safe certification, we're saying, no, let's be preventative on a regular basis, where you have a therapist assigned to the property, you have the seminar so everyone is educated, you signed a policy to say, wow, I'm held to a higher regard, a higher standard here in an Osso Safe certified property, and this will mitigate liability, maintain property reputation, your vacancy rates will drop, and your tenants will feel safe. So this is what we're introducing into the real estate industry, one multifamily at a time.
Right. I definitely think it needs to be in all of it for sure.
Thank you, Skyler. We feel the same way. I know if I had this growing up, my reality as a child would have been much different, for sure. I needed this growing up.
Right. And as we're at the end here, did you have any questions for me on the air?
Well, I just wanted to say I really appreciate the opportunity, and you're a younger generation. So we at Osso Safe, we definitely try to appeal to your age group because you're the future generation. And if your age group likes what we're doing, then we feel like we're on the right track, because it's important for your age group to have healthy relationships. We don't need more abusers, more victims. We need people that are nurtured and loved and have compassion and disciplined. So that way you'll do that for your own children, and that's how it should be. So, yeah, it's not so much questions, it's more gratitude. So, again, I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. And we'll talk more a little bit after, but your website link will be down in the description for anybody that wants to check it out. And I encourage that highly. And make sure if you're on YouTube to subscribe to us. And if you're on any other platform, make sure you follow us so you don't miss anything. We thank you for coming on, Sabrina, and talking about this very important topic for today. And we wish everyone a great day.
Thank you so much, Skyler. Thank you.
Yeah.